Welcome everyone to today's video. I'm here at my favorite park, a place that always brings me a sense of peace and reminds me of a special memory from a few years ago. That day, I had just turned 65. I was sitting quietly on a wooden bench under the shade of a tree, listening to the birds singing and feeling the rhythm of life all around me. Inside, I felt a bit empty, as if my whole life were silently passing before my eyes, and all I could do was sit there, motionless and deep in thought. Suddenly, I saw an image I'll never forget. An elderly man, probably around 80, playing frisbee with his grandchild. The two were laughing and running across the grass, completely unbothered by time or age. The elderly man wasn't just agile, he was full of life, as if he were in his 20s again. That moment changed the way I looked at aging. Growing older doesn't mean we must slow down or accept limitations. On the contrary, it's the time to live smarter, enjoy life more, and prioritize true happiness. From that experience, I began a new journey of caring for myself more holistically and positively. And today, I'd like to share with you 8 essential tips I've learned. These small but incredibly valuable tips have helped me maintain my health, stay optimistic, and find joy in everyday life. I truly believe that no matter what age you are, these insights can inspire and benefit you too. So, let's get started. Tip number 1. Laugh a lot and laugh often. Laughter isn't just a natural reaction to something funny. It's a powerful remedy for the soul and the body. I still remember clearly a period when my longtime friend Betty and I started a small but meaningful habit. Every week, we'd set aside one evening to watch comedies together at home. No fancy preparations, just 2 old friends, a bowl of buttery popcorn, and a few classic comedies we loved in our younger days. One time, we rewatched an old black and white comedy. The plot was simple, even silly, but somehow it had us both in stitches. I remember laughing so hard I had tears in my eyes, and in that moment, all the worries and fatigue seemed to melt away. I felt lighter, younger, and more energized than ever. From that day on, I truly believed that laughter is one of the greatest gifts that aging can still offer. You don't need a special occasion to laugh. Just call up an old friend to reminisce about funny memories, watch your favorite comedy show, or even laugh at the little silly things in daily life. Laughter boosts your mood, reduces stress, and is good for your heart. It's like a rejuvenation therapy that's completely free. No prescription, no side effects, and the results are amazing. So, no matter your age, let laughter be an essential part of your life. Tip number 2. Celebrate yourself, because you deserve it. We often wait for special occasions to celebrate. A holiday, a big success, or a major milestone in life. But in my experience, the small, everyday victories truly deserve our recognition. Just last month, I went through a particularly tough week. An overloaded schedule, fluctuating health, and a mood that shifted like spring weather. But I didn't give up. I woke up early each day, finished my tasks, and didn't let fatigue pull me under. That weekend, I happened to walk past my favorite neighborhood bakery. I paused before the display window, then thought, I deserve something sweet. So, I treated myself to a small slice of chocolate cake. Not for any grand reason, but simply because I had made it through a hard week with all the resilience I could muster. I sat on a bench outside, savoring each bite, and felt a quiet joy, relief, and pride. Celebrating yourself isn't about showing off or indulging, but acknowledging your efforts. It could be as simple as writing down 3 things you did well this week, enjoying a peaceful afternoon with your favorite cup of tea, or looking in the mirror and saying, I did a good job. These seemingly small moments keep our spirits bright and our minds positive. Remember, you don't need anyone's permission to celebrate yourself. You are the one who truly knows what you've been through. And if anyone deserves a little light and sweetness, it's you. Tip number 3. Talk to someone, anyone. I carried with me the habit of staying silent for a long time. I thought I had to handle everything independently, and that growing older meant learning to endure things alone. I was afraid of bothering others, afraid that no one wanted to hear my worries or feelings anymore. So I withdrew, day after day, speaking only to myself in my mind. And the more I did that, the heavier my heart felt. Then, one Tuesday afternoon, the phone suddenly rang as I was reading the paper with a cup of tea. It was my daughter, completely unexpected. We started talking with no real topic, from what she had cooked that day, to how her cat had been causing trouble, then back to memories from her childhood. Before I knew it, an hour had passed. When the call ended, I put the phone down and smiled. My chest felt lighter, and my mood had brightened like sunshine through the clouds. From that day on, I learned something that seems simple, but is deeply important. Being connected, being heard, and being able to share is essential to happiness at any age. Don't wait until you feel lonely to reach out. Be proactive. Call an old friend, join a book club, attend a local community event, or even talk with the cashier at the grocery store. It can soothe your soul, whether a heartfelt exchange or just a few light words. You don't need something big to say, just someone willing to listen. And sometimes that alone is enough to remind you that you are not alone. Tip number 4, eat like you truly love yourself. In the past, I used to eat just to get it over with. That was enough as long as it was quick, convenient, and filling. French fries, cookies, soda. You name an unhealthy food, and chances are I've tried it. I used to think that at my age, eating well didn't matter as much as it did when I was younger. But then, my body started speaking up. I always felt tired, struggled to sleep, and went through my days feeling sluggish without knowing why. One weekend morning, I stopped by the local farmer's market. The colorful stalls overflowing with fresh produce sparked something in me. I brought home bundles of kale, carrots, onions, and a few sweet potatoes. That afternoon, I made a simple vegetable soup. When I sat down and took the first spoonful, it felt like I was being embraced. Not by someone else, but by the care I had finally started showing my body. That soup pot didn't just warm my stomach, it nourished my spirit. Since that day, I no longer eat just to get through the day. I've started paying more attention to what I put into my body. It's not about strict diets or giving up all your favorite foods. It's about making better choices, adding a handful of spinach to your morning sandwich, choosing water over soda, or swapping that afternoon snack for nuts and fresh fruit. Healthy eating isn't just about living longer. It's about living happier, feeling lighter, and being proud of how you care for yourself. Start small, and you'll soon notice the difference in your skin, sleep, and mood. Trust me, your body will thank you in ways you never expected. Tip number 5, sleep like a champion, because you deserve quality rest. There was a time when I was a reluctant night owl, not because I wanted to stay up late, but because my mind just wouldn't stop spinning, with thoughts about what I needed to do tomorrow, unresolved moments from the past, and random worries about the future. I'd lie in bed with the lights off, but my mind felt like it was lit up like a stadium. And the next morning, I'd wake up groggy, irritable, and drained of all energy. So, I decided to change my bedtime routine. I began setting aside 30 minutes before bed to read, not the news or phone messages, but a gentle novel or an inspiring book. I'd turn on a soft, warm bedside lamp, brew a cup of herbal tea, and put all electronic devices away. No social media, no glaring screens, just me, my book, and a quiet moment to myself. One night, I slept so deeply that I dreamed I was gliding over the ocean, the cool breeze flowing through my hair. When I woke up, I felt completely renewed. That's when I realized sleep isn't just rest. It's a kind of magic. It's the medicine that heals stress, restores the body, and refreshes the mind. If you want to live healthily and joyfully, sleep is your foundation. Set a consistent bedtime. Dim your bedroom lights. Turn off all screens at least 30 minutes before sleeping, and create a calming ritual that works for you. A good night's sleep isn't a luxury. It's a skill, a gift you can give yourself every night. And when you're well rested, the world the next day feels brighter, softer, and far more beautiful. Tip number 6, create daily routines. So every day has something to look forward to. When I first retired, I experienced something I didn't expect. Total freedom made me feel lost. No more work, no more meetings, no more fixed schedule. I suddenly had an entire day stretched out before me with no clear place to begin. At first, it felt relaxing. But within just a few weeks, things started to unravel. I woke up randomly, skipped breakfast, and wandered around the house, unsure what to do next. It felt like I was drifting, like a boat with no anchor in a vast ocean. So, I decided to create a gentle rhythm for myself. I do not have a strict timetable, but I have a few simple milestones to guide my day. I make coffee every morning at 8 a.m. and sit by the window to watch the sunlight pour in. By 9 a.m., I put on my shoes and walk, sometimes just around the neighborhood, sometimes to a nearby park. Around midday, I carve out time to read, a book I've meant to get to for years but never had the chance. One morning, as I scattered seeds on the porch, a few squirrels began to approach. At first, they kept their distance, but over time, they became familiar. Now, I call them my Wednesday morning friends. I genuinely look forward to that little moment each week. I realize that even the simplest routines can bring a sense of stability. They're like a soft framework that gives each day meaning, and each tomorrow something to anticipate. No one's asking you to live by the clock minute by minute, but having a few favorite habits throughout your day is like placing little bright markers on the map of life. Start with something you love. A cup of tea in the afternoon, a song before bed, or a few lines in your journal each night. Make it yours. Let each day be another day and a day that mattered. Tip number 7, try something new to awaken your spirit. We often think that new experiences are meant for the young after a certain age, but I've discovered nothing makes you feel more alive than learning or trying something you've never done, even if it's just something small. Last year, on a light rainy afternoon, I walked past the local community center and saw a small sign that read, "Beginner Pottery Class. No experience needed." For some reason, I stopped. Maybe because I had once thought about trying pottery, but always told myself, it's too late for that now. So I signed up. That first week, I sat in front of the wheel, hands covered in clay, fumbling like a child, drawing their first picture. The bowl I tried to shape didn't look like a bowl or a plate. It was wobbly and lopsided beyond saving. But I laughed, a genuine laugh from deep inside. It was not perfect, but I dared to try something new. That lopsided bowl now sits on my bookshelf. No one could guess what it was supposed to be, but it symbolizes something precious. The moment I stepped out of my comfort zone and discovered a new side of myself. You don't need to sign up for an art class. Though, if you want to, go for it. It might be learning to knit a scarf, picking up binoculars to birdwatch for the first time, or simply trying a new recipe you've never made. Even something as simple as taking a different walking route or reading a genre outside your usual favorites can bring a fresh spark to your day. Whenever you try something new, regardless of the outcome, you open the door to curiosity, flexibility, and the joy of living. So think about it. Is there something you've always wanted to try but haven't yet? Whether it's big or small, permit yourself. Start today and allow yourself to be surprised by what you're capable of. Tip number 8, take a walk. to strengthen both body and mind. After that unforgettable day at the park, when I saw an 80-year-old man throwing a frisbee and laughing joyfully with his grandchild, I came home with a new resolve. I had to do something for myself. I opened my closet, pulled out an old pair of sneakers, and stepped outside. There was no grand plan. I just walked around the neighborhood for about 15 minutes. At first, I was out of breath after just a few steps. My knees creaked, and I wondered if I was pushing myself too hard. But then, something amazing began to happen. After a few days, I noticed I wasn't gasping for air. I started to notice things I'd never paid attention to while driving. A vibrant bougainvillea blooming at someone's gate, a cat stretched out in the sun on a front porch, and birds chirping high up in the trees. I began recognizing neighbors, even stopping for brief chats. Each morning, I looked forward to lacing up my shoes and discovering something new, even if it was just the cool breeze brushing my cheeks or sunlight filtering through the leaves. Now, walking has become an essential part of my day. My legs are stronger and my steps are more confident. But more importantly, my mind feels lighter, clearer, and more positive. I feel like I'm truly living, not just existing. You don't need to join a gym or run a marathon. A comfortable pair of shoes and a familiar path, even if it's just to the mailbox, the park, or around your garden, is enough to begin. What matters isn't speed, it's consistency and the simple joy of movement. Let every step be a declaration that you're still moving forward, still caring for yourself, one step at a time, quite literally. And from those small steps, you'll rediscover a strength you might have thought was long gone. So we've just explored 8 tips for taking care of yourself as you step into this new chapter of life. From energizing walks and nourishing meals, to joyful laughter, restful sleep, and meaningful connections. We also discussed the power of daily routines, trying something new, and, perhaps most importantly, celebrating yourself. All these practices come together to make aging graceful, vibrant, fulfilling, and full of life. Growing older isn't the end. It's a brand new chapter with its colors, a time when you can still shine, explore, and fully enjoy every moment uniquely. And the most beautiful part? You are the main character of that story. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Of the 8 tips we just shared, which one have you been practicing to take care of yourself? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone who needs a little motivation today. If this video brought you a smile, an idea, or simply the comforting feeling of not being alone, don't forget to hit like, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss what's coming next. You are truly amazing. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I'll see you in the next video, and remember this: keep shining in your own beautiful way.